to Tally Talks, a podcast to ramble about Tally Hall. I'm your host, Emma, and today's episode is sponsored by a cardboard box. I'm joined by Melody McGinley, and we're going to talk about the recent Edu Friends Tour.
Hi, I'm Melody, and I'm known for doing some Tally Hall things on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. I did an interview with Andrew. I think that's what most people know me for, but, you know, as we said, I also went to all three of the shows, and I have a video on that I released recently, and yeah.
And if I remember correctly, did you go to the concert in November as well?
I did, yeah. So technically I went to all four, and if you're counting Sonic Launch, all five, so yeah. Me and Ruby were the only ones to go to all four, so it was damaging to my wallet, but it's okay.
You know,
it's totally worth it for Andrew.
That's part of how I started getting connected to the Tally Hall fandom again, was I check the Hidden in the Sand website every once in a while, even if I'm not really looking anywhere else, and I saw an article, I was like, they did what? In November? I didn't know this.
Yeah. And funny story, I'm usually 3 hours away from New York, but I was in Ann Arbor at the time, and then Andrew posted, I think the day that I got there, he was like, by the way, guys, I'm doing a show, and I was like, bro. But yeah, and so I cut my trip to Ann Arbor short, and then I drove 10 hours back, and then slept, and then went straight to New York the next day.
That is some true dedication.
Which is crazy. Anything for Andrew. Anything for Tally Hall. I mean, this is the only thing that, Tally Hall has ever done since I've ever been into them, so couldn't miss it.
Yeah. And just also, Edu songs live is also really cool.
Yes, dude! Dude, it was. Oh my gosh, hearing, Miss Melody and, what was the other one he did? Well, he did Hey You in the recent ones. That was really cool. I wish he did Daisy Fingers as my favorite, but maybe next time. I loved hearing all the new stuff, and, hearing it so many times, got me used to it, and, yeah, I can't wait for the new album to come out. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be so good. I'm so confident.
Same. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
With the first concert, were you, because you mentioned Ruby was there, were there sort of some other Tally Hall fans you were able to meet there? What was sort of their reactions to seeing Bora?
Yeah, it was so funny because there was always a group of Tally Hall fans right dead center front. So we were all just in a huddle, woo! And yeah, because it was every single time except for Boston, either me or Ruby got VIP so we could have early access. But also, I love Jukebox the Ghost as well, so I got to meet them, and that was so cool. Yeah, so we got to be in the front, and then everyone kind of found us and hung out. So, yeah, it was really cool getting to, talk to Tally Hall fans in person. And it was very surreal that some of them knew me. It was I follow you. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it was just so nice. And everyone is so nice in person. And just, felt like a little community at each show. It was great. I don't know if, people at that show were, also fans of Tally Hall. But, it seemed like the general audience was, super excited. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's just so fun to just have these special guests showing up.
I know, and it's a surprise every time, and then Matthew does his teasing as he usually does.
Yep. Everyone is well familiar with that by now, I feel like.
Who's it gonna be? Yeah. Who's it gonna be? I don't know, but I do know, but I don't know. Yeah, Matthew's such a nice guy. I've had the opportunity to, I think, visit his show twice, and he's just awesome. He's so nice, and yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure to talk to him. And he let me sign the wall that everyone who's been on the radio show, who's a musical guest gets to sign the wall, and he let me sign it, and I of course signed it right next to the Tally Hall signature.
Very nice.
But yeah, he's just so awesome, and yeah, I think it gets a lot of hate, but I think he's a good guy. Yeah, he just loves to troll us. I think he's taking a break for now. He's kind of toned it down, but I'm very positive that it will come back up again, probably near Sonic Launch.
How was that show with just also Ross appearing? too.
Yeah, that was really cool. I love Andrew and I love his music, but adding the drums it just filled something that wasn't there before in the New York and the DC show. Like, oh my gosh, take it for a ride live. Oh my, it's just so magical to hear in person. And like just watching Ross like do his thing back there is so cool. It's definitely one of my favorite parts. Yeah, crazy. Because it was like Andrew came out. Well, he for the Chicago show he had the girl come out first. Her name's Emily, and then Andrew came out, and then Bora came out, and then 2 songs after that Ross came out, and he was like very discreet about it, just like snuck up to the drums.
Like, hey, wait a minute.
I was like, wait, I see you. Yeah, I see you. I see you over there.
I really like that it's tied with the Jukebox That Ghost shows. I don't know all of the Jukebox That Ghost discography. I'm like not as deep as in with the Tally Hall fandom, but that was a similar like 2021, 2022 is kind of a lot of similar playlists I made was Tally Hall and also Jukebox The Ghost in it.
Yeah, dude. Like Jukebox The Ghost is like Tally Hall's my all-time favorite, but like Jukebox The Ghost is my current favorite band. Oh my gosh, they are so good. I'm so in love with them. Their music is amazing. Anyone who's listening should check them out. Definitely, especially Let Live and Let Go. That's their first record.
And that's the one that starts with the song called Good Day as well, right? Or is that the...
Yeah. Yeah, they talked about it on their podcast. They mentioned it. And Ben was like, I don't think it was conscious, but if it was, I owe Andrew an apology. Ugh, yeah, so good. And they're so talented too. Like, dude, they played Let Live and Let Ghost in DC. That was like, I had the time of my life at that show. It was so good. And like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna see them live from now on. They're so amazing.
Out of all of the new songs that you've heard performed live, which one do you think is your favorite new Edu song so far?
This is an underrated one, but I would say Fishes. I love the groove and just like, it just sounds good. Obviously, but like, I don't know. Yeah, that one's just, I like the vibe of it. I also like, I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with the kalimba, and it has Andrew's backing vocals that are like, ba, 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 ba. I don't know. Oh, I think it's Monsters, actually.
Oh.
I've gotten the pleasure to hear them a few times, so.
Oh, yes. And then you get the full, like, in-person quality.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's just something about hearing any music live that's just magical. I really enjoyed all 3 in different ways. Like, the Chicago one was, like, I had to travel the furthest. I flew to Detroit for that, and then my friend picked me up. But yeah, I got to go to that show with my best friend. That was her first concert ever.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first one where I got to meet Ross. And then the DC one, I mean, like, I got to hear Let Live and Let Ghosts live, and that was super cool. And I got to meet Jukebox The Ghost and talk to Andrew after. I got to talk to them after every show, but just, you know, always getting to talk to Andrew is such a pleasure. And then Boston was just kind of the last one, so it was like kind of not emotional, but it just like had that feeling of like, let's give it our all. But yeah, so they are just super special, and like this is just like, you know, that's something that I will like tell people about forever. It's just such a cool story and such an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I got to do all of this.
Tally Hall live in 2023 and 24. It's wild.
Literally, like, what world are we living in? Wild. Yeah, I cannot wait for Sonic Lunch.
For real. Like, that'll be fun, because then I feel like there's probably going to be even more of, like, a gathering of Tally Hall fans there by this point.
Oh, yeah. Like, dude, everyone and their mom is going, apparently.
Yeah. That's the plan.
I think someone's coming from Brazil. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, what?
That's impressive. I was just about to say, I'm like, I feel bad for the Tally Hall fans outside the U.S., but that's
I know, right? Yeah.
That's some dedication for someone to come from Brazil, though. That is impressive.
I know. It really is. I don't think I could do that. Luckily, I'm a 10-hour drive. It's, you know, it's a little lengthy, but it's not the worst. You know, you definitely could be further. So,
real quick, before we jump into your interactions with the Tally Hall members that you got the chance to meet, how long have you been a fan of the band? How did you first kind of find them, and what made you just be attached?
well, I think it actually started with Hawaii Part 2. I was into a game called Sally Face. I'm not sure if you've heard of that game.
I have heard of it. I haven't played it, but...
yeah. Yeah, I've seen, like, people play it. That's like, kind of how I know, but, there was an animatic of Sally Face to the Mind Electric, and I was like, what is this song? It's so good. So I checked out the whole album, and I actually didn't like it at first. It was too much for me, but then I came back a year later, I think around 2022, and then I was like, I don't know what I was on before, this is the best thing ever. And then, you know, through research, of course, I found Tally Hall, and then I just, you know, I mean, I just fell in love. They're amazing. And I've been in it ever since. So since early 2022.
That's awesome. And now you get to be here. You get to have this chance of
yes!
like impacting people yourself, and them being like, oh wow,
yeah,
it's the person.
It's really crazy thinking about like when I first got into Tally Hall and where I am now, like having like met some of the members, and like, you know, a lot of people from this fandom know me, and it's just so cool. I'm pretty proud of myself for getting here. It's a very cool thing, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool. I'm not super involved in the overarching Tally Hall fandom outside of kind of what I'm doing here, but it was something where it's like, oh, I'd been aware of your stuff too. So it was like, it always makes me cool. I just like lurk in different places, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah. That's so cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really like your stuff too. I've followed you for a while, and I really like this podcast. I think it's very well done, very professional.
Thank you. Yeah, so if you want to talk about how it was meeting people now.
Yeah. So, okay. I'll start with I'll quickly go over New York first, because that was the first one. Andrew actually knew that I was going to be there because I told him. I was like, I'm coming from Ann Arbor, even though I'm not from there. I was there, and now I'm here. And so me and my friend who went with me just happened to be in the lobby after Andrew's set when he just walked out, and I was like, and then he recognized me, and he was like, oh my gosh, you've come a long way. Hi, I'm Andrew. Oh, it was so crazy. And then he took the time out of his day to like talk to me and get to know me and stuff, just for like 15 minutes, but still, he came out in the lobby to like see his friends who came to see him, but it just meant a lot to me that he took the time to talk to me, especially, you know, when he wanted to talk to his friends, you know. He's just very nice. And yeah, so Chicago, I wanted to see Jukebox, but then Ruby was out in the lobby and was like, texted me, was like, hey, the tallies are out here, you should come. And I was like, and I just turned around. I was like, oh, sorry, Jukebox, I'll see you next time. But yeah, so and then we ran into Bora right away, right at the door, or the entrance to the lobby. He was just kind of standing there talking to someone, and we talked to him for a little bit. His he's very soft spoken, which isn't something I would like expect from him, but he's very like he talks at this level, and keep in mind there's like a whole concert going on behind, so you can't really understand what he's saying, and it's a little bit awkward. So like it was really funny because we would have like a group of people like around like whatever member, and then whenever Bora spoke, everyone just went and just like leaned in like, oh. But yeah, Bora was so cool to talk to. He's like, and we told him, like, everyone was telling him how cool he was, and he was like, you're too kind, you're too kind. Yeah, it was just, you know, and it's so cool that, like, you could just ask them anything, and it's such, like, a casual thing. And then Ross, I was scared to go up to Ross for some reason, because, like, I mean, he was the only one I haven't met at that point, but you know, he was just super nice, like they all are. And yeah, the one thing from that interaction is that I have a drumstick from him. Yeah. And it's signed and everything, and it was used in the show, and I don't know, it's my prized possession. I think Ruby was in the middle of asking for one, and I just walked into the conversation, and he was like, oh, I have more than one if you want one, and I was like, yes. Yeah. So that was crazy. And then he just ran off and then came back, and like, oh, it was just so cool. I also have a pic from Bora. I have two, actually. Yeah, I have it in the frame.
Well, let's go.
I'm sad for all the people that are listening. Yeah, you're just gonna have to imagine it.
It's a beautiful collage of all of the different concert memorabilia.
Yeah, actually, if we could go through this really quick. So I will explain it for everyone who can't see it. But so we have the picture from Chicago with just everyone who came to see, and then, you know, the three of them and Emily. Then the Bora pic. Then this is a sticker from Jukebox the Ghost. And this is a picture I took. And I actually gave one of these to Andrew, and he was like, oh my gosh, thank you! This is a crazy story. In DC, Ruby had asked if Andrew had any Party Booby Trap CDs laying around, and so he got one for her, but then he was like, I actually brought two, and I got one for you. And I was like, oh! Yeah, so, like, another prized possession of mine.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. And then, this is a set list from Jukebox the Ghost. Tommy handed it to me personally, no big deal. And he also gave me a lyric thing that he wrote down. And then this is from Andrew, and it's really funny. This is the most iconic set list of the night. He threw a few out, but he put this one into a paper airplane and tried to shoot it in one direction, and then it totally, like, and it, like, vetoed right to me. And I was like, when I grabbed it. But yeah, and then I was like, you have to sign this. And then he did. But yeah, and then so I have a jukebox ticket from Boston that was in there that that's a story I'm gonna save for a little bit later, because it's the biggest flex in my opinion. But yeah, that's all the memorabilia I have, but it's just so crazy. Like, not even to just experience it, but like actually have things to, you know, have from it. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and then you get to just be able to stare at it, or just be able to like point at it and be like, whoa,
yeah, literally.
that was wild.
Yeah. What? Yeah. It's just, yeah, I get to look at it every day and be like, remember when this happened? Oh, I was just gonna say, something that Bora did, not specifically to me, but this girl printed out like a drawing of him. I think there was two, one to give to him and then one for her to keep. And then she was like, oh, I want you to sign the one that I'm gonna keep. And he was like, oh, only if you sign the one I'm gonna keep. Aww. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's so cute. It's very exciting to hear about Bora's new album. That, like, I mean, that wasn't out. Like, he didn't talk about it. Like, the only reason why it's out is because he told us, and then we talked about it. Yeah, that's crazy news, and I'm so excited for that. And he said that he's planning on doing shows with it, with the boater costume.
Let's go.
He said, he was like, I think he said, like, I had one, but it broke. I'm like, how do you break a mask? But, like, okay. Yeah, I think he's like, I'm thinking of getting one custom made. So yeah, super exciting. I don't know, like, what it all entails, but I'm pretty sure Kojin Dip's making a comeback, which is awesome.
It's cool to see, because I know that the second album has been in the works for a long time too, so I'm sure that'll just be
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be like a cool step for all of the band as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Andrew is also planning on doing live shows for his album, which is just so exciting because that means more opportunities to see him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Tally Hall fan.
I know.
Got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Okay, I guess I'll talk about the story. It's really not that big of a deal, but it also is in a way. So, I was at the DC show, and we were all kind of like talking with Andrew and everything, and I think me and Ruby were kind of like just having conversation, and he was like, "Oh, are you gonna make it to Boston?" And I was like, "I can't, it's sold out." And he was like, "Oh, I can get you on the list." Yeah, he was just like, and he said that and then immediately moved on, and I was like, wait. Backtrack. So, he did, and he got me on the list. For those of you who don't know, it's like a guest list where you basically just go up to the box office and say your name, and then you get let in. So, like, that is like the biggest flex of my life. He is so nice for doing that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
You need to be on the Andrew guest list.
Literally. The feeling that I got just like getting to walk up to the box office and be like, actually, I'm on the guest list. Yeah. And then she was like, okay, what's your name? And I was like, Melody McGinley. And then she was like, okay, and gave me the tickets, and that was it. And I was like, I didn't have to pay a cent for this. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, so cool. And yeah, it's just such an honor. I have no idea why he did that, but like, I'm so glad that he did. That's just like so awesome. He's just so generous for doing that. And just, you know, he's just so generous in general. You know, he's so nice to everyone.
Yeah, and I remember too from like the Ross interview that Ruby did, of just like Ross mentioning too of just how cool it is to see all of these fans and dedicated people. So I'm sure Andrew appreciates it a lot on his side too.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that in some way, like, we mean at least 1% of what he means to us. But yeah, I think that he does appreciate us. I mean, like, when he knew that I cut my trip in Ann Arbor short to come see him in November, I could tell that he's very appreciative, and he I think it's in my car, but he signed my CD. I didn't even have to ask him. He was like, "Oh, you want me to sign?" He just pulled out a Sharpie. He was like, and then it said, "Melody, thank you. I appreciate you" on it. So just, yeah, it's just so nice.
Cool. What would be like the ideal Sonic lunch experience for you? Like, what would be kind of what you would hope for?
I think the lineup, probably, like, if I could pick 3. Oh, wait, I don't know.
I want Bora to do Mood Waltz again, at least personally.
Yeah, I don't think that he's gonna be there to play. He said that, unfortunately. I know people want him to go so bad. I begged him. I took one for the team, and I like begged him so hard to come and watch. And he was like, okay, maybe. And I was like, no, you need to come. And he was like, what if I'm not in town? And I was like, be in town then. He lives in Detroit, come on. Yeah. I was like, I will personally do a backflip for you if you come. And he was like, hopefully safely on a trampoline and with pillows. I was like, sure, whatever.
On a real trampoline.
Yeah. Not on a trampoline, not a tramp.
Yeah.
Not a not trampoline. Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm also planning on doing a vlog for a Sonic lunch. I'm not sure if you watched the last one, but I already have some ideas. I was actually thinking of if I'm driving, I don't know if I'm driving or flying, but if I'm driving, I think I'm gonna bring some of my instruments and do a kind of sing-along thing and play Tally Hall, and anyone can come and sing.
Oh, that would be so cool. Yeah, but it's cool that you have sort of your own instruments and just being able to do music type stuff. Do you have plans for that in the future?
Yes, I have an album coming out later this year, which is super exciting for me to, finally be saying, because it's been such a dream of mine forever. I mean, my parents are musicians, so I kind of just was raised being in love with music and kind of knowing that music was my thing. So, being able to just even say the words, I have an album coming out, is crazy, and I'm just so excited for it. I'm really proud of these songs, and I've put snippets out here and there. I have one on Twitter that you could go dig for, and I do live streams on TikTok sometimes, and people seem to like it, which is such an honor, because it's hard to get people's attention with music that they don't already know. And with my music not even being out yet and people showing their support already, it just like means the world. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yippee! Like, I am a music enjoyer. I like hearing when people are working on music, because you get to tell your own story, and then people get to kind of absorb that and make their own meanings out of it too. Yeah. And music is just such like a magical thing. I think kind of everyone feels that way. Yeah, if you want updates on that, I will definitely post it on Twitter, which my Twitter is mostly used for Tally Hall stuff, but I will be posting about it on Twitter, and I also definitely will post about it on YouTube as well. So yes, how can we find you? How can we find your stuff? So just Melody McGinley on pretty much all platforms. Yeah, my TikTok account for Tally Hall stuff is mels.second.acc for account. Not super active on there. I would do Twitter and YouTube, but yeah, and I have a ton of vlogs relating to Tally Hall, and some just just because I like posting on YouTube that you can check out. I have, my vlog of going to all 3 shows. I'm very proud of that one, and I am definitely going to be vlogging the Sonic launch experience, which is I'm just so excited for that video already. It's gonna be so cool. But yeah, I do have a lot of Tally Hall stuff on my YouTube channel that you can check out. I did a Keep Up the Good Work video a while ago. Yes. Yeah. And yeah, so you can check me out there if you feel so inclined, and I appreciate it if you do. Yeah, be looking forward to just sort of the new video content, and then also looking forward to new music. Always very exciting. Yeah, thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah. Yay! It'll be cool to look forward to that. Yeah, it's really always so nice to hear about, that some, people are excited for something that you're doing. It's just an amazing feeling, so I really appreciate that. You're welcome. Yeah, and thank you for joining me for this too, for recording. It's pretty cool. It just makes me really excited, and I appreciate you reaching out for it. Of course. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on this. Seriously, this is so cool that I'm doing this. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for listening to Tally Talks. Please share the show with people you think would like it. By the way, tallytalks.com is coming very soon. If you'd like a shout out in an upcoming episode, on the website, or in an animatronics video, check out the links in the description. If you'd give to help a family in Gaza, I will give you a shout out. Just let me know how you'd like to be credited in the Google form. If you have any comments to share or would like to ask about being a guest on the podcast, please email podcast@awesomejedi.com, also noted in the description. Anyways, thank you for listening, and have a good day. Bye, Tally Hall.